Alrighty, so this is DC We the People News. One more time at it, y'all. Alright, it's going to be the part 2. Alright, and we'll see about part 3 once I get this said and done with. Remember, in Texas, okay, you got to check for your own state. 543 Transportation Code. As soon as them lights come on, you're under custodial arrest. There is no detainment, okay? I'm not an attorney, I'm not giving legal advice. Alright, it's hard to believe that you had to say this. This is entertainment purposes only. Do your own research, okay? Since the Transportation Code says 543 is you're under custodial arrest, up to 549 if you read the whole thing. Alright? There may be a suggestion in there somewhere. As soon as them lights come on, the officer comes up to you. I would just tell them, since it's a criminal offense here in Texas, of breaking some type of traffic code, read the Miranda rights. As soon as he walks up to the door. Oh, do you know why I pulled you over? Oh, first we're going to have to go ahead and have you read me Miranda's. Since it's a criminal offense, right? Just saying. Anything you say or do will be held against you in a court of law. So, quit answering questions.
Do that. You'll be in a situation, you're encountered by some wrongdoing. The ones who are actually...
P.S. Never look straight forward. Always look around you. Be able to protect yourself by any means necessary. We're going to jump back into a couple of videos back. Right? CJ Grisham. Okay? Check his video out, or my copy of the video, or whatever. It's about how to get rid of their immunity. Okay? But I would go ahead and start on these paperwork. As soon as they're pulled over, you want them documents in the court. And I believe that you should give your officers, sheriff's department, whatever town you live in, go ahead and proceed forward with the notice. Have that written out, hand to them, certified letter or whatever you want to do, but make sure it's on record that they received the notice.
Accusing you are doing much worse than they've accused you of doing. And they've skipped due process, and they're causing trouble, and you need to know how to hold them accountable. So that's what I would say.
We're basically going through some basics you need to know before, as you get a traffic citation or a code enforcement citation.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Ideally before, like, start today when you don't have anything hanging over your head. There's no oppression. Everything is just a sunny day, and you just need to go ahead and prepare. So go ahead and look this up for your state. Go ahead and figure it out. How does this work in my state? Even though you don't need it yet, your familiarity with that will really help lower your stress on the day when you get surprised by some accusation. It is easy to confuse and conflate the issues, and I'll just speak to the need for people to separate, distinguish what's going on here. So you've been pulled over, you're going 45 and a 40, and the officer's rude to you and says you were going 60 and a 40, and that's more than 20%, whatever. So then your natural inclination is to argue about that and say, I was only going 45, or whatever is the thing. You want to push back on the wrongful accusations, but you also have an issue here with, he lit up his lights in the first place. He indicated there was an emergency. You moved over, and instead of him going by, he wants to come and talk to you about your paperwork. He wants to compel you to give evidence against yourself. He's got nothing, but he wants you to give him all this paperwork, and then he can check and see if your insurance is expired or if it goes to a different VIN number. Whoops, you put this one in the wrong car. Ha, gotcha. All this stuff that he wants to figure out after the fact, what he can ticket you for, that's not right. And you need to not just feel in your gut that it's not right, but be able to mentally distinguish this in each of these wrongdoings, shall we say, goes into its own category, into its own little channel, and you can.
And I'm going to just go with the extension in this as well. So we all want to kind of argue back, especially if you're in the right. Never answer questions, but ask questions. That way you can speak, but you're not incriminating yourself, right? Where are you heading? Officer such and such. Where are you heading? Where'd you come from? Officer such and such. Where did you come from? Yeah. Take it with a grain of salt, people.
Deal with the one that's coming against you. Destroy the case. Eliminate the case. Annihilate every count of crime that they say. They say that you did such and such. Oh, and also, like, for example, the speeding. Oh, and you didn't have your registration is out of date. Oh, and your insurance expired yesterday. Oh, I got the new one. It's just not in the car yet. Don't talk to them about that.
Right. I mean, we've been taught to know or think that the police officer has our best interest in mind. That is not the case.
No, unfortunately not. I mean, we want to be polite, but not chatty. Don't give him anything. Answer his questions with your own questions. You have to realize this law enforcement officer, okay, he has whatever he has. He doesn't.
There you go. Ask your own questions.
Need any evidence from you. But that's actually a good thing, because he has next to nothing. He wants evidence from you, and unfortunately he's willing to harm you in a heartbeat. So, don't refuse to give him ID. Don't refuse to give him whatever stuff, because they're liable to just go off, and they shoot people for the silliest reasons. And then don't.
If you want to be brave, when I talked this about previous videos, okay, stay calm and in a composed manner. But if you get the officer to go ahead and read your Miranda rights, because he don't know what you're doing, you're playing along with his game, but you're doing it for your benefit, right? Well, right now I'm going to invoke my 4th and 5th Amendment rights. This driver's license, insurance, or registration. Are you going to use this against me in a court of law? Yes or no, officer? You just read me my Mirandas. Are you going to use this? Are you forcing me to incriminate myself? Yes or no?
Mess with them. But instead, as you're being polite and cooperative, make sure you ask things that lock in the law enforcement officer's position. Mm-hmm. Why did you pull me over? Was I suspected of some kind of crime? Go ahead and ask questions that make him articulate what's going on here. Oh, I pulled you over because I couldn't see your license plate very well. Okay, so now that's clear. Now we know what his original reason was, and he can't later fudge it to mean something else based on, some other evidence that he forced you, compelled you to give against yourself, like insurance was out or whatever other reason. You've locked him into his position. Whatever he says his position is, now he's going to have to deal with that.
Right, so he's building a case, you're building a case. And
exactly.
Unless you give him...
And we'll go, and I'm sorry about the interruption once again. You could go to Legal Beagle and hear the whole thing without my interruption. Okay, that's my opinion, not giving legal advice. Educational purposes only. But, on the side note, I lost my train of thought. Happens to the best of us. Just remember, everything you do or say will be held against you. Okay? Keep your windows cracked. I would suggest your heater, air conditioner, whatever it is, while he's in your presence, shut it all off. No air circulation. You cannot say, out of the retaliation, I smell something funny. Okay, they can pull you out of the vehicle, this, and this, and this. So be real careful. They're gonna put you in front of that camera in the car. Still, stick to your gun. Officer, are you going to use anything I say against me in court of law? Just keep that in mind every single time. Are you armed? You know, are you willing to use lethal force against I? Okay?
The better off you're going to be.
Then in your document, you was under duress of anything you end up providing him. You're under duress by the threat of arms and coercion.
Absolutely.
You can answer his question with an answer, or just simply say, I don't answer questions.
Right.
Now, yes, they have a gun, and they're going to win the day, but they won't win the war. And so, I would just say, be polite. If he's open to talking about these freedom ideas, fine. But otherwise, get the gun. He's going to win the day. That's how I feel.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. Remember, you do not have to hand it to them. You can display it. But if you want to push it a little further, it does not say anywhere in the law or the code, statutes, rules, regulations how many distance away does it have to be. To be nice, hold it against the window. Okay? If not, you do your own discretion. Far away where it's hard for him to read. Right? And just remember that you're doing this by the threat of arms. I'm not doing this willingly.
Exactly. And I've never met one. I've met quite a few. I've never met any of them who are interested in hearing any new take on the law, the behaviors that they're exerting, whether or not they have authority, whether or not these things apply to somebody who's not involved in the transportation. What is the regulated activity? Is it just moving around, or is it commerce? They don't want to hear any of it. They're not interested. I've never found one to be interested.
That's because they've been trained by the municipality.
Yep, and it's a money game, I understand. But I guess early on I had some kind of misconception. I don't know, call it naivete. I really expected that these people are people and they're going to be more interested in doing things right than just bringing in money for their boss, right? That doesn't seem to be the case. I don't find any interest in, the person that they've pulled over is their victim. They see this as defendant. They see this as suspect, accused. They don't see this as teacher. They don't see this person as, I need to learn something from him. So just don't worry about it. Don't try.
Or even citizen.
Yeah, certainly not the person they're protecting. The protect and serve, I don't know where that went. Out the window. But I did want to make a point here about recording. Make sure you record this interaction. You're going to go back over it later and you're going to notice some things that you didn't before, things that will help your case and things that will build your case against the wrongdoers who seized you at your liberty. And I say that phrase, seized you at your liberty, intentionally. He didn't just pull you over. When the law enforcement officer hit his lights, he gave you the impression that if you were to just go ahead and mind your own affairs and ignore him, you were going to be in trouble, maybe shot. So,
yeah, he forced you to the side of the road.
Right. And you don't get to continue about your business. So he seized you at your liberty. He better have a really good lawful reason for doing that. And it doesn't. If he wants to come and talk to me about my papers and find out if I've got something paperwork, or if I'm involved in a contract with the city, or that doesn't count. I don't care how curious he is. That does not rise to the level of giving him authority to seize me at my liberty. So yeah, make sure you're recording these things.
In short, when you got your driver's license, you did not waive your due process through the courts. All right, it's a quasi-contract, but even in that quasi-contract, it does not state really, okay, you waived all your due process.
If possible, video. Not everybody has the equipment for that, but if you could at least get audio, then do that.
Because often these body cams and their recordings go missing.
They sure do.
Very convenient.
And that's typically when they recognize that they've done something wrong. Either they didn't make their own case very well, or they actually did something wrong that would embarrass them or their agency. Yeah, those cameras go missing.
What a shame.
All right, we're going to stop there, so I keep it short and sweet. I do some We the People news, part 3, eventually. Till next time, y'all. Never look straight forward. Always look around you. Be able to protect yourself by any means necessary. People, 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 not persons.